Hello viewers, my name is Monica Saxena. Today I will discuss about the historical research. Some of my viewers has asked to explain the internal and external criticisms. For that you have to go in detail about the historical research. That's why I have created a separate video of this historical research. First we came to the nature of the historical research mainly is based on the past. Whatever we evaluate our results, whatever we collect the data is based on the past events or any if we say in other words we can say that any actions or any type of historical documents which the researcher want to study, this all comes in the historical research. It is also the systematic collection and evaluation of data. That means systematic, many times I have explained, it is a step by step collection of data. Step by step steps I have discussed in previous videos, that when we do the research, what are the steps of the research. But in historical research, statistics and interpretation, these things do not come. So it is only the collection of data, whatever the sources it comes in the historical research. It is based on the qualitative and theoretical basis, and it explains actions or events that occur sometimes in the past. There is no manipulation or control of variables as in experimental research. Now the next point is, it's very important that variables, there are no variables to which we have to control or manipulate the things. Manipulation means we don't have to do the dependent and independent variables. We are not concerned with any types of variables or elements. We can say elements also to the variables. I have made the separate video of variables and the types of variables. You can see that. And next is to construct what happened during a certain period of time. That means in the past, in a particular period of time, whatever the events or any actions happened in the past, in the history, that researcher studies mainly. Next principles, if we come to make people aware what happened in the past, learn from the past failures and success. That means for example, if in the field of science, if the doctor wants or any scientist want to study about the medicine, that particular medicine, what the result that particular medicine has given in the past on the effect on the patients in the past, and in the present scenario will it work or not. That means the researcher has to prepare full report, whatever topic he or she has taken, and then in the report he has to define the success and failure of that medicine in the past. Next, very important, present day problems, apply them to present day problems. I have said earlier also that research is very good which is related to the present scenario and which solves the problems and issues which are coming in the present scenarios and present time. So in the historical researches also, the researcher has to make emphasis on the points that whatever problem he has taken, that should be related to the present problem and give the solution to the present problem. Now next is make predictions. Predictions I have told also known as hypothesis video I have made separately. What are hypotheses? Naturally any research needs the hypothesis, and it is of again qualitative type. The whatever supervisor says, that hypothesis, if he or she feels that points are sufficient to prove the research, whatever point the researcher is presenting in the viva, that hypothesis is very important, and predictions, because these qualitative points, the researcher has to prove it in front of the examiner. There are no tabulations because there are no formulas, no statistics. That is why the whatever point he is giving as a proof that yes, my hypothesis is correct, that should be very correct, very valid. Not valid we can say, but reliable if we want to say, because it is qualitative research. Next point is understanding present education practices and policies, whatever policies in educational field or in architecture field, in commerce, in botany, botanical, if we say on the plants also, whatever historical research we are making in any field, like in architecture, we can say, like any model which is useful in the past, any map or model, is it useful in the present scenario or not? That particular building's map or that model is useful or not? Steps, if we come to the steps, the same steps are there, some differences are there in the, like in the scientific research, if we say in experimental and all that, descriptive one. Here the statistics again not comes, only the documents, numerical records, oral statements, remains or relics comes. First we have to define the problem, then we have to collect the whole data, relevant sources. Those sources mean here the data, summarizing the information, we have to summarize the generalization, we can say it, and evaluation. In exams, in net exams and other exams also, always they put the question of criticisms and external criticisms, and one of the viewer has also asked me. Now comes to the next slide. I will explain it internal and external and internal in the in this video only, in coming page. First we see the new trends and historical approaches, which is a very important point, because whatever historical topic we are taking in historical research, that should be very useful in the present, in solving the present problem. If that research is not solving any problem or issue and does not concern with the present problem, then research topic is not feels good to the at the time of viva exam. And supervisor, whatever supervisor says that that the person has to follow, that should be considered, because supervisor also does not want that the research topic whatever the candidate is doing that is not relevant to the present scenario. So it is very important to follow the new trends in historical approaches. And now come to the sources, primary and secondary. Primary, that means the original documents or remains, whatever original documents which comes in the researcher's hand directly, not indirectly but directly. That means whatever data he is collecting is maybe it is in the written form, in pictorial form, or in mechanical form. Like in written form we can say the any book, any letter, any documents, or any pictures, like we say in the caves we say see the pictures, that gives the direct information that what culture, what custom that particular religion or any, we can say the like in Harappan culture, there are very solid evidences that there is a Harappan culture and they have very well planned civilization. So if the sources which give the direct information, that is are the primary sources, and they are eyewitness to a fact. That means it is seen by a and by any person, and that person tells to other person, confirmed, and writes a document on that basis. Now second, if we sources, we come the types of primary sources, like official records, legislative, judicial, executive, personal. I told you the diaries, autobiographies, folk tales, family stories, ceremonies. These all are primary sources. Types of primary sources, again the pictorial records, movies, microfilms, drawing, paintings, coins also comes in the direct and gives the direct information. Mechanical records, photograph records or tape recorders, remains in remains, fossil skeletons, all this comes in the remains. And then the secondary sources, just opposite of the primary source, that not directly observed by the person and the actual participation of the person is absent. They are generally limited and indirect information is obtained, that means from one person to another. Now comes to the validation. After the data have been identified, the researcher must read the report carefully and correctly. Validation, I have told you that validity of the documents and sources is very important. I have made the video on the validity also, the what is validity and reliability. And validity means how much correct it is and how much that whatever hypothesis you are making, that is valid or not, correct or not. If we come to the criticisms of data, there are two types: external, internal. First is authentic, genuine type, and internal is accurate, meaningful. Now external, the process of establishing authenticity to the data is called external criticisms, and the internal criticism, the process establishing the validity of content, is called internal criticisms. That means, for example, you will understand very clear, if there is a book written by any writer in the past, then that book external looks, the external information like the name of the book, the publication, the name of the writer, the qualification of the writer, whatever author had described in the external looks of the book. Suppose we can say criticisms on the quality of the book also, the color of the book, whatever external criticism is given. I am just taking the example of a book. You can take any monument also, any building also, if historical research is going on by the researcher. Now in that book, the internal criticism is the content, whatever text, whatever textual document he has written in that book is called the internal criticisms. And that is why internal criticism is accurate and meaningful, and external is authentic and genuine. I think it is very clear. And the internal criticism is positive nature, when the researcher seeks to discover the literal and the real meaning of the text. This is the internal criticisms. Next, the limitations. In limitations, we can say there are no sampling instrumentation, sampling is absent, instruments are not made. That means research tool is not made because there is no statistics, no tabulation is there, no representative of the sample, sampling is not done. Internal validity threatens, that means the validity of the research, whatever research the researcher is making, it contains the errors because it is of qualitative nature. There is empirical means the experience of the research is included, whatever experiences gained by the researcher, that he is writing in the report, and it is not calculated by the any formula or any statistics is not put there. That's why that internal validity is obvious. There will be a biasness, there will be error, and to prove that it takes a long time. That is why it is time consuming. We can see, you can see here, very time consuming, and the sources, whatever material he is using, that is also not sure that it is very strong solid proof of proving the particular research problem. Now the lack of control of external variables, there are no variables, or if there are external variables, only the external variables, we can say the elements, if they are, then they cannot be control or manipulation is not there of the variables. They cannot change any variable. Obvious, the documents which are he is getting, or documents he is getting, that cannot be changed, and that is why it is based on the quality. That means quality of the materials or sources whatever the researcher is getting. Now, interpreting historical sources, again the same point, it is saying the biasness of the researcher biased in the interpreting historical sources. There will be an error in interpreting the historical sources, and there will be the biasness, that means error created by the researcher because it is of qualitative nature. I think this video is helpful for you. If helpful, then please comment, and if any questions and queries about this, then please write in the comment. I will see for it. It will take long time for me to connect with you, and I've made this video only on the demand of the questions someone has asked about the criticism. That's why I've made. Thank you, viewers.